Hi. I am going to talk, but right now I'm trying to eat my cereal, so it'll be like, do a row, take a bite, do a row, take a bite. Um, I was trying to um actually um I was trying to be ready for stream, but my story got to the point that I really wanted it to be back at. So, yeah, I ended up doing that. Anyway, I don't want to be crunching it in your ear, so I'm gonna go silent until the cereal's gone. I'm having frosted flakes, so that means I'm having breakfast. Just having it during my stream instead of before. But I tried really hard to make it before, but then the story got in the way. Um, because we finally got Ashley back to the bar, and I was either gonna start in on that chapter or I would, yeah, I was either gonna start in on that chapter or I was gonna start in on the chapter after it. I'm not sure which, but it ended up that I there was some parts back um there were some parts that I'd already worked on that I'm like, I didn't like the way it was because it really needed to be its own chapter. And yeah, so I ended up backing up and doing that work over again. But at least now we're back to approximately where we were and it'll be all good. So I'm going to mute, and like I said, it's going to be a line and a bite and a line and a bite until I'm done. And then I'll be back on full time. Okay, now I'm done. Sorry about that. I really did want to be like totally prepared, have my breakfast all done and everything. And like I said, I started in on chapter 30. So previously, the next chapter would have been 16 instead of. Got a sore finger. I don't understand why. Excuse me. Anyway, um, there used to be 40 chapters, and now I figured out that there's. Oh, actually, I don't know how many chapters. Never mind. But there was like 40 chapters in my book that I'm working on right now, Lessons in Love, and like 341 pages or something like that. Yeah, I think I figured out this morning. It's now 361 pages, and I don't understand that at all, but anyway, it's 361 pages, and I'm going to have to work on that. I think we can tell that we definitely made the blue house, and then that one's going to be bamboo. And if you're wondering, it's because that's the way the stripped wood is. For some reason, bamboo's last. Like maybe it got added last as a stripped thing. I don't know. So anyway, um, yeah, I've been working on my story. Got chapter 29 all done, and you probably guessed that since I said I'm on chapter 30. And before I went to sleep last night, I was determined to get all the cooking done on Dreamlight Valley, but that didn't work out. I started not counting so great and having no idea what number I was on, and the fish thing. The fish recipes were just annoying the hay out of me because the one fish recipe was taking 6 different fish to make it. Not that it was taking 6 fish to make the recipe. It was um this time it would be cod, and the next time it would be rainbow fish, and the next time it would be catfish. So I was trying to get 50 of each recipe, and it just was not working because it kept coming up with a new recipe. I mean, a different version of the recipe. So, yeah. I wonder if any of the, they're computer bots, so they're programmed to do one thing, which is order the food and you feed it to them. And, they sit there with an empty table, but they're supposedly eating, and yeah. Well, anyway, I wonder if they're ever like, wait a minute, you made out a rainbow trout last time. This time we made a catfish. Ooh, that's even better. Okay, let's give it another once over just to make sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have. Wow, okay. I'm like, I've played for 15 minutes already. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the kitchen. And after stream, I've got to pause everything and actually do the litter boxes. And then I can finish stories and work on Dreamlight Valley and trying to get all the cooking memories taken care of on Dreamlight Valley. You do that by cooking recipes and anyway, you do that by cooking recipes and you don't have to do 50 of them. You could like do 25 of everything if you wanted to, but there's 50 recipes that you can put in a stack, and so I'm just trying to get all the cooking memories. And then I'm working on my story, and I'm working on this, and I'm working on the 4th of July display, 4th of July fireworks. Um, you know what? I just realized I haven't been on Discord and since like the day before yesterday. It's only significant because I made a new friend. Well, we're hoping it's a friend and not a scammer. But thing is that he said that he talked to this other YouTuber, and the other YouTuber has like millions of. Oh no, might have been Twitch actually. But they've got like millions of people watching them all the time. Um, and then and the guy that I was talking to specifically said that he's got thousands or hundreds or something like that, and I only have 108. Although I had 110 the other day. I don't understand how they're counting this, but um anyway. Anyway, I want to be able to be back on Cherry Street or Birch Street or whatever the next tree was on this file before I give up today. I know, you're probably thinking it's the the houses of the color they're supposed to be. Why change it? It's because it's got to be right. No other reason. I may. Okay, so in my fireworks file, I copied this. Not this one. The old this one. So the original file. That's what I'm trying to say. I copied the original file, and I decided to turn it into a fireworks display. Um, well, that's the reason why I copied it, so I could turn it into a fireworks display. And I think it'll look really nice when it's done if I can keep the trees out of the it won't look very nice if the trees stay where they are. But I don't want to take them out either. So I may just have to back them up. And if a tree happens to get inside a house, oops. It's not the way it's supposed to be, but hopefully it would keep the trees off the street, you know? Because my only other idea is to go and form um, form a row of barrier blocks all the way down the street and all the way, all the way up the street, all the way around the corner, and, everywhere that we don't want the trees to be causing havoc. The only problem is that and putting barrier blocks would make it look funny. Is that when the fireworks go off, I don't think they're gonna go through the trees. And if they do, that's gonna look weird. But maybe we'll work on the fireworks display too. It is Minecraft Monday, and then we're going to have to work on treasure hunting, even though it's not the... I'm trying to convince myself it's treasure hunting. Litter box. It's treasure hunting. You're trying to find the treasures. You don't want the treasures, but you're trying to find them. And actually, if I could find, like, some kind of company that is, like, doing some kind of research, and they're trying to see, um, if they can come up with a better fuel source, and, one of them wants to work with cat treasures, that'd be great. I would totally, like $25 a bag or whatever. So if I seem a little distracted, at any time during this video, I do hear the gardener. I will try not to let it bug me, but it always does. It's just they get so loud. When they get near our house, they're so loud. Anyway, the only reason why we're recoloring these houses in the first place is because I built it to where, to the pattern of the planks, and that's not what I was supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be building it to I was supposed to be building it to the stripped wood, what the stripped wood said. So, anyway, so it made it to where it needs to be crimson warped and then bamboo. And then somewhere in the mix, we got some of the colors mixed up. I don't know how we did that. How I did that, because I was being very careful to not do that. And then all of a sudden, well, some of the houses, I totally forgot that a bamboo house was supposed to be the thing. So I totally had skipped it. And then, I just, anyway, I got everything fixed, and now we're going to keep going until we got the next thing. Until we get to the houses that we haven't actually filled the color in yet. I've been appearing offline, I think. I'm pretty sure. Because our son hasn't hopped on the world and said, "Hey, what you doing?" But in my fireworks world, all the houses are white. So unless we want to make them a different color, that's what they can be. So he can go and put in every single one of the houses, and it won't matter what color it is, unless I decide all of a sudden to. Okay, I don't know if that's what it really was, but it looked like there was a big gap here. Yeah, just a big gap here. And this was over here. That was weird. Okay, so we got that one. Let's make sure everything's correct before we leave it. Because sometimes you get one that's sideways. Okay. So, that should be oak, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, darkwood, mangrove, cherry, pale. And then these ones are correct. I don't understand that, but okay. Crimson, warped, bamboo. Okay. Oak, spruce, birch, jungle, acacia, dark oak, mangrove, cherry, pale, and then they're messed up again. That's so weird. That is so weird. That could be awesome. Like if all of a sudden my brother and sister-in-law started reading my books, got hooked on them, and then wanted to see my world here, and our son could show them, and it would be awesome. Although I really wish that they had like a. I'm not saying that my brother and sister-in-law would mess up anything, but I'm just saying I wish that they had a print only. Like a read only mode. For when you do have people visiting. that I know that they've got it to where you can, when they spawn in for the first time, they are visitors and they can't like do anything. But sitting here and all of a sudden somebody goes, "Hello." Don't know if that was my husband or sure didn't sound like my husband. Um, I don't know if it was my husband or somebody outside. So I've got allergy throat today. So, um, at one point in time, my stomach didn't like dairy. And I started drinking those liquid IV things with like every bottle of water, right? Well, there's a big problem with that because that's what they say to do. There's a big problem with that. It had milk or wheat or something in it that wasn't listed on the box. Something is something that gave me a stomach ache. So, so, so anyway, I remembered that because of, Fresh Baked the other day. It might be the other week by now, but, anyway, um, a few to several days ago, he was saying how he loves liquid IV. I don't like drinking water by itself anymore. I have to have this. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's got something that causes me gut wrenching pain. So I can't have that. And the only things I know that I can't have, or can't have too much of, is sugar and salt. And they said I wasn't diabetic, so I don't know about the sugar. I have no idea what the problem is. But, well, it could be one of those things where, like, my body's trying to say, look, if you keep on having sugar, you're gonna get diabetic, you know? So, like, it developed a way to tell me that I shouldn't have so much. But I wasn't even having that much. Like, we'd have the occasional donut with frosting, with the donut frosting, and I don't know, maybe I'm not having enough. But, I feel run down and yucky if I have a lot of sugar, so. Oh! I forgot. We've got pie. I don't know. To me, it wasn't that great of a pie. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't, like, ooh, yummy, I gotta have this again. But on the other hand, maybe I'm just not a peach pie person. I'm definitely an apple pie person. And if we get an apple pie, that would be a great breakfast. I don't think my husband was ignoring Sam, but that was Sam, right? Yeah, Sam was talking to him like, Dad, pay attention to me just now. He was meowing, but I'm kind of upset because everybody, because of Hollywood and they make all the cats say meow, and it's like there is no cat on the planet that actually says meow. Well, technically, I haven't gotten that far yet. Anyway, technically, so are we having pie for breakfast? Anyway, technically, Sam learned how to say it, but Sam knows how to say hi, hello. I swear one of the two boys said love the other day, which I just love. Bobby knows how to say love. She hasn't said it in a while, but when you've lived in your house ever since you were 4 months old, because she got adopted from a shelter too. When you've lived in your house since you were 4 months old, and then all of a sudden get given you to your aunt, your aunt and uncle, there's bound to be problems. The one big problem though is that she cannot tell the boys apart, and for some reason she has decided she doesn't like Sam, and Sam doesn't like her. So the answer is yes. Oh, the turnovers. Oh, okay. Well, pie makes a good breakfast too. Okay, my husband is stuck in a rut. He's decided pie is a dessert. Well, I had cereal, but that's obviously not going to last. And I'm very excited because I started that chapter last night and I've already gotten about half of the next page done. Oops. But oh yeah, there's one problem with this story is that I want to make a major rewrite because I know that the ninja is a certain character and that she's the one doing everything. But I want to make it look like they're two separate people. And yesterday I was all happy about that idea, and today I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it. But we'll figure it out. So when are you? Oh, you said. Why would you have to wait until Tuesday? Monday's a business day. Oh, okay. So we're expecting some unemployment money so we can pay some bills. And if there's anything left over, maybe we'll be able to go do some more grocery shopping. Um, yeah, this is, oh yeah, yeah, because right now, I've literally got 15 cents in my account, and I think my husband's got less. So, yeah. This is why I would like it very much so if everybody would check out my books on Amazon and buy at least one. Um, people with kids that like to read might like my book, might like my adopted series because, um, they're meant for children. They've got actual pictures of my cat, ones I took, and mostly easy vocabulary. Adopted is a pretty hard word. Medicine's a pretty hard word, but that's because the reason why we have Coral, or why we had Coral, she passed away in January 2025, but January 23rd, 2025. I remember that because, 23 is like my favorite number. Like, I figured that 23 um was like the perfect age. And I don't know why, but I just thought it was like the perfect age. I wanted to stay at 23 forever. Obviously that didn't work. No. That was not my reasons. Cause I don't drink, I don't smoke. Although I could have gone in the military, but I didn't, and that's because I don't like violence. Why are you saying that? Oh, he's got a point there. So I've got scoliosis, and I probably would not have seen war. I probably would have been, the person behind the desk filing paperwork or something like that. I mean, it doesn't usually bug me too much. Like, my body's adapted to it. And I think that's so weird that um people do have to have surgery. But I've also got my good old armchair here, and it comes with, yeah, it comes with the remote control, so you can uh adjust it to the exact spot that makes your back not hurt. It's pretty awesome. And I'm probably one of the lucky ones because, like, my my spine goes up, goes up like normal, and then it decides to go out like a question mark, and then go back up again, which we're not sure why that happened. But that's the way it happened. I assume that some other people have, weirder problems than I do. He hasn't even tried to love me up and cuddle me. And cuddle with me. He's acting like we don't. He's acting like you've been gone for 6 weeks. Speaking of that, one of the kitty cat families I watch, um, the the main attraction cat is Todd, and his daddy's taught him to press the buttons, and he was like doing uh almost full sentences yesterday. It was so cool. I'm pretty sure this is a video from like 4 days ago, but it was still really cool. I'm still trying to catch up on YouTube. Oh my goodness. But yeah, his daddy had to go on a trip, and he's like string toy, mousy, he's anything he can to keep his daddy at home where he knows he's safe. Anyway, the latest video is uh Todd's reaction hearing Dad's coming home. Anyway, I can't wait to see that. Um, the one I have playing silently in the background is Sarah doing some pumpkin farming. Sorry. Husband got a phone call. In what? Oh, I was hoping it was a job interview. Oh, speaking of job interviews, it'd be easier to look at it on the computer. What? Okay. Wait, so the photo club that I'm not interested in being in because it's just a not publicity, popularity contest. It's just a popularity contest. Certain people can go and tell that, say, it's Shelly or Jim's picture, and they'll go and vote for Shelly or Jim's picture every single time. And it's like, that's not fair to the rest of us. You didn't even look at, some of the other pictures. And like the one week, I had a really awesome picture. It's supposed to be macro, which means zoom in as much as you can on, a certain part of the picture. well, I mean, a certain, yeah, whatever you want to make your subject, but zoom in on it as far as you can zoom. So I went and took my little lousy camera on my cell phone, because that's what they think of it. Hold on, my turn. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Good morning. My name is Maya. I am with the Senior Resource Center. Now you can get access to early money.
I ain't even gracing that with any more words than hello. Anyway, so I took my lousy phone camera, because that's what they think it is. I love my phone camera. Thank you very much. Thank you, Samsung. And it's not a paid advertisement for them. If they want to pay me, I am totally willing. Because I love my cell phone. Except for that, sometimes it gets rid of the ringtone. And like the other day, it had a totally different ringtone than what it was supposed to have. Well, this was like the other week, but anyway, had a totally different ringtone than what it was supposed to have. And then it went back to the regular one. Anyway, it does the ringtone shuffle, and I don't like that. But other than that, it's fun. It's a great phone. It does everything I need it to do, and it does it fast, and yeah. But anyway, so I went and took that picture, and my cat was, our cat Ben, was sitting on the arm of my chair. And I'm like, can I take your picture, please? And he stood there long enough for me to take the picture. I zoomed in as much as I could. And so I got the creepiest picture of my cat's eye. And it would have been even better for the week before. We didn't know that at the time, though, because I was showing it off to a friend at Walmart, that still works there. Poor person. Anyway, I was showing it off to them, and all of a sudden we noticed, oh, wait a minute. My desk is in the picture, my lamp is in the picture, his baby brother's in the picture. It was a great reflection picture, but I did it for macro because I didn't think of it for reflection. I might have won the whole dang contest, I mean, you don't get anything. It's just, a very good sense of you won. But still, it was making me upset because, people noticed, oh, that's Jim's picture. That's Shelly's picture. That's, And I didn't hear anybody saying that's Tina's picture, that's Shirley's picture. Now I'm just not waiting around until I'm, like, say 70 years old to get recognition for taking great pictures. Heck no. I mean, it's only $15 to join, and you don't have to show up. You don't have to show up. You don't even have to, participate if you don't want to. But it's not, it wasn't fair. And, I like it to be fair. I know somebody's going to say, life's not fair. And it's like, well, don't you think it should be? I heard something really sad yesterday because it sounds like President Trump's not doing so hot in the um, health department, apparently. I mean, him being healthy. And that he might step down. And, it's like, I understand he doesn't want to be another Biden, but I really don't want him to step down either. And how do we know that JD Vance is going to be any better than Pence was? I don't know. So I'm like a little worried. Anyway, and I thought that President Trump was trying to make it to where everything would cost less. And we noticed that job offer, job offer, job offer. That said press 1. Okay. Okay, so he's on the phone again, so that's why I'm being silent. unless they're hiring. You didn't ask if they were hiring. Oh. Okay, so while I was saying I was being silent, the gardener came by. I was making some noise, so I was kind of glad to be quiet. We're hoping for miracles tomorrow, and we're hoping for job offers today. We never did go over to dollar store see how close they are to getting ready. We have no idea when it's supposed to get there, um, but we're supposed to be getting a new Dollar Tree, across and down the street. Dang it. Hello?
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 Good afternoon. My name is Anna. I'm calling because Medicare recently made...
Yeah, I'm not old enough for Medicare. Doesn't make sense to call me for Medicare. I feel insulted because they're calling me. I mean, maybe they ought to do a thing where, like the US Census, where they go and send people around and find out the demographics for your area or whatever. Well, this town does have a lot of retirees, but we're just not it. But we have reasonable class sizes for school. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't remember them being cramped. I remember them being normal. Okay, so normally you would want to have 20 kids in a classroom. Nice size for the kid for the teacher to handle, and not too bad. I think we had 32, and now, there's like closer to 40, I think. Or you're doing online school. My our son, because when he went, I think it was still COVID time when he went from um, when he went from junior high to high school. And so they had online school for part of it, and then they went to actual school after that, but they kept all the work on the tablet or Chromebook or whatever they gave him. And I thought that was really weird. And then he had one of those schools that if you don't finish it in class, you take it home, but if you finished it in class, then you're good. You don't got no homework. And I thought that was really weird because we always had homework. We were always forced to do homework. And that actually worked out good for me because, I learn more when I practice it. I learn it better when I practice it. And then when I stop practicing it, I may forget how to do it. Especially math. Yeah. Well, I never understood algebra, but that's not the point here. It's like, how are ABCs going to help me with 1, 2, 3s? I do not understand it. It does not make sense. Didn't really learn the PEMDAS thing anyway either. Where it's like parentheses. Uh, PEMDAS. Parentheses. Um, something, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Oh, exponents. Oh, so like when it's like 8 to the second power. So anyway, I guess I did learn that, but I didn't quite get it math wise. And yeah, they call it order of operations. Well, it's kind of stupid because like you would think that you would, because like in the parentheses it says 8 plus 4, so that's 12, and then it's like times 2 to the second power, and then so that'd be 48. No, wait. Yeah, 48. And then times 3, don't ask me what that is. Uh plus 2 minus 1. Oh, and somewhere in there you're dividing by 6, It's like, what is this gonna teach me for real life? I can kick butt on decimals because I pretend that's money. That's easy. No, I kick butt on decimals. I told my teacher that, and she's like, yeah, right. You wouldn't be at the dummy math class if you did. And it's like, yeah, actually. And the answer that was on the assessment test to tell me where I needed to be didn't have the correct answer at all. So everybody's going to end up in the dummy math class if they get that one. I mean, but maybe the whole reason why you're in that class is because of the fact that, oh man, that's gonna suck. Okay. Anyway, maybe the reason why you're in that class is because you don't know fractions that well, or you don't know pre-algebra that well. I was hoping it was going to make it make more sense, and it did not. Like, it made sense in class, and then as soon as I got home and, some life stuff happened, like, getting the kids dinner and, uh, and, putting them to bed and stuff, it did not make any sense. It had just gone right out of my head. So I really needed to spend more time with the pre-algebra stuff, and it wasn't going to happen. Like I was totally wanting to uh go on one of those math sites and see if I could actually sign up and practice it a lot, and then maybe I'd understand it, because I can do algebra stuff, but I need numbers to go with it. And knowing that usually, every math problem has a number answer, it just was, it's messing with my head. Um, but see, my books is something that I can get behind. Oh, so I was trying to put in a plug for that. If you go onto Amazon, and in America it's Amazon.com, but in a few, I mean, in other countries it's like dot c. What was it? It's like that's bugging me because I don't have that file open right now. But um, but it's like one of them has .au, and Britain has .co something. Oh, co.uk. You know. Anyway, and type in Tina Rash Books, TINARASHBOOKS. You should find all 6 of my books: Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times, Esperanza's Party, The Island, and Adopted Coral. Now, eventually, when I'm not so busy, Adopted Coral will have a second book, because I've taken so many pictures of her that, it would be a shame um, not to make another book. Like one where the picture is, the picture should be titled, "Where's Kitty?" And then a zoomed in picture, there she is, because she was literally laying on the stairs. I don't know why, but she all of a sudden decided she wanted to lay on the stairs. And this is a cat that was afraid of heights. So she wouldn't go to the top of the cat tree. She would only go to the bottom part. And and the other thing that she'd do, which just made me so confused, is that she laid at the top of the stairs. Like she was saying, I'm gonna face my fears. I don't want to be a scaredy cat all my life. So she'd go and lay at the top of the stairs. We'd have to be careful when we go up there to not step on her. And the horrible thing is, I had to have my husband. We wrapped her in a towel. My husband wrapped her in a towel, and then you know, um, we when she went, my husband wrapped her in a towel, and we went to the kitty doctor. And I wonder if they still have her on there, or if they took her out because they know that she's no longer with us. I hope so. Of the system, the computer. Yeah. Well, anyway, and I was patting her because that was our baby, and my husband was like, "Is she moving?" No. I quickly had to explain. It was kind of funny how a about 10-pound cat all of a sudden weighed what seemed like 16 pounds. It was so weird. Anyway, so I'm definitely going to make another book about her. And then I want to make a book about Ben. I had to get a generic picture though, because the staircase that I was hoping was still there wasn't. It was totally in a different spot than it was before. They had to go and renovate it. And so I was like, oh man, how am I going to do this? And I was just like, okay, I'll just take a picture where it's the banister and the window. It'll just be a generic window. So, so I did that, and as soon as I can, and I'm hoping they won't get upset, I'm going to take, a generic picture of approximately the direction that the dog came from to chase Sam. And well, you said he generally, if we're looking at the apartment that we lived in, you said he generally came from a rightish area, so I'm gonna just take a picture of over there. And unless Steph allows me to use Lucy or Ari as the big mean dog, we just won't have him in there. Anyway, I want to get a picture of that, and I want to get a picture of the stairs, but the without the address on it. That's the problem. I need to get it without the address, or have my sister blur it out. Because I just don't know how to edit pictures. I really don't. And here's the gardener again. So, yeah, I don't really have a so. But anyway, after this, I'm gonna, work on my story and do that treasure hunt and all that stuff. Oh, I still gotta play Puzzle and play Jewel because we're trying to get it to where um we're trying to get to where we can get Xbox points so I can get the next month of Game Pass. Unfortunately, the month is actually from yesterday to September 17th, which maybe it was October. No, I swear it said September. Hold on. I will be right back. Gotta figure this out. Uh-uh. Got YouTube gifted membership on the 9th and device usage on the 9th and my chart on the 11th. All Things Disney on the 12th. Oh, right here. Oh, I haven't redeemed it yet. Okay, so we'll leave that open in the background and we'll figure out how to redeem it. Oh, is that what that is? Okay. Okay, so my Game Pass says it lets up in 2 days, and uh, I'm supposed to get the 1 month of the 1 month free. So anyway, we're trying to get more points so we can get another month free. Because at the moment, it looks like we're not going to be able to buy um, any Game Pass cards. Um, does does GameStop still have 3 month cards? Okay. Oh, I was saying if no, I was saying like if we got a paying job in the house, because obviously this is a job, it's just not paying. Um, it's a job. Well, just because they want to be able to steal my hard-earned money doesn't mean it's any less of a job. Anyway, um, what else can we talk about? Besides that, I really want to go to Disneyland. That popped into my head just now. Another phone call. Okay, what was that about? I heard that. What else were they asking? Why would they just call you out of the blue and ask that? Oh, okay. Speaking of scammers at a call center, I personally think that that set of Nancy Drew books that I like to read was written by, like a call center kind of setting. A big old warehouse room with a bunch of computers, and like say Sally's writing number one, and Jennifer's writing number three, and so on. And the reason why I think this is because like some of the books, Nancy's like, I love you, Ned, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then the next one is she's saying, she's doing her best to say everything but I hate you. It's ridiculous. Let's see here. Oh, I think I discovered that was up to 483 people on my, or was it 482? Anyway, on my YouTube. I was very happy about that. I am very happy about that, I mean. Because that means that I just need like 18 more and I'll have the 500 that I need for one of the goals. And if I can get the 500, then um it's like on Twitch where you got path to affiliate, path to partner. Um but I only need 500 people. Although then I need 1,000 people. I think it's like to get ad revenue. Like they have ads and you get money from it. And if I could start getting that while I'm waiting for Twitch to come through, or if I can get up to 1,000 people and get the other part of it, that would be great. I would love that. And even if it's only